The 20 Most Haunted Places in the World, Part 2. We have seen 10 most haunted places in the world in Part 1 video. In continuation of that video, we are going to see the next 10 most haunted places in the world in this video. 11. The Separate Prison, Port Arthur, Australia. During 1800s, the Separate Prison operated a silent system where prisoners were hooded, placed in solitary confinement and forbidden to speak to anyone. Conditions were so unbearable that countless inmates would murder their fellow prisoners. They'd rather face the death penalty than spend another minute there. Now, the Separate Prison is a historic site museum open to the public. It is said that hundreds of hooded inmates are wandering the halls at night, a handful of the 1,000 people buried in the unmarked burial ground. 12. La Recoleta Cemetery, Buenos Aires, Argentina. There are reportedly multiple spirits wandering the grid-like aisles of Recoleta. One of the most famous stories is of Rufina Cambaceres, a wealthy 19-year-old woman, the daughter of a beloved Argentine author. Urban legend states that heavy rain postponed her burial. When the groundskeeper returned to the tomb to lay her to rest once the weather cleared, he found Rufina's coffin lid slightly open, with scratch marks on the inside. The legend goes that she had been buried alive, and woke in her coffin after suffering a case of catalepsy. If you hear a jangling noise in the breeze, they may be the ghostly keys of David Aleno, a gravedigger who worked at the cemetery for 30 years. He killed himself at the cemetery, allegedly after his tomb was completed, and was buried on site. 13. Jazirat al-Hamra, United Arab Emirates. Local legend has it that the ruins are haunted by malicious spirits who wander the dirt roads of the town disguised as animals. Visitors regularly hear strange noises and spot apparitions amongst the mud coral houses. 14. The Langham Hotel, London, England. As befits one of London's finest five-star hotels, the ghosts that haunt the corridors here are a cut above, too. Reports have suggested that there are at least 5 ghosts in the 500-room establishment, with room number 333 rumored to be the most haunted of all. Given the size of the hotel and its lengthy history, you could potentially run into any number of spirits. However, your haunting encounter could potentially be with one of the Langham's most esteemed ghostly guests, such as Napoleon III, the first president of France, or a German nobleman, who was said to kill himself in the hotel. 15. Teatro Tapia, San Juan, Puerto Rico. The stalls here are said to be haunted by the spirit of an actress who fell to her death during a performance. She returned to haunt the venue from beyond the grave and can still be heard, at times, singing from the stage. There have even been reports of doors slamming shut backstage. 16. Taj Mahal Palace, Mumbai, India. One of the hotel's architects, W.A. Chambers, threw himself from the 5th-floor balcony. Apparently, he was distressed when he returned from a trip abroad to discover that the hotel's design had gone in a completely different direction in his absence. In a tragic twist of fate, his ghost is said to wander the halls and the old wing of the hotel. 17. Carl Beck House, Ontario, Canada. Guests staying at Carl Beck House have reported seeing a suited-up man being chased by a very angry woman wearing a dark-colored blouse and skirt. 18. Chawanei Church, Beijing, China. One grisly tale about Chawanei Church's origins suggests it was the home for a Chinese National Party official in 1949. That story didn't end so well. So, depending on your luck, you'll either come across the government official's mistress, who killed herself there after their breakup, or a group of 3 drunk construction workers who broke into the building and were never seen again. The temperature of the house is said to be much colder than the rest of Beijing, even during the summer. 19. Kelly's Castle, Batu Gajah, Malaysia. Photographers visiting the area for its nature and wildlife have claimed to see ghostly figures standing by the window frames. The man himself, Mr. Kelly Smith, despite dying in Portugal, is still said to haunt the 2nd-floor hallway, no doubt disappointed his grand vision was never completed. 20. Casa de la Poesía, Bogotá, Colombia. Located in the Candelaria neighborhood of Bogotá, Casa de la Poesía was the home of the great modernist poet José Asunción Silva. He was known to be quite morbid, and lived through several personal tragedies, including the death of his beloved sister, Elvira. He also lost his many of finest works, handwritten manuscripts, during a shipwreck. José died in the house in 1896, at the young age of 30. In 1995, it was declared a Colombian national monument for its historic significance. Senor Silva himself is said to still haunt his house. Visitors frequently report hearing the poet muttering under his breath from other rooms. This is the end of the video, friends. Hope you all enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button to get notified whenever we post a new video. Peace.